Good day, class. How are you all doing today? I'm trying to get this project completed before the day ends, so bear with me. Please remember that the school is still serving lunches and breakfast from 8 o'clock or 8:30 in the morning to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Please try to make it by there if you need any food or something to drink. Also, please keep in mind that we do need these homework packets finished. When we do finish with this chapter, we'll go on to the next chapter. You can either drop them off at school. There's a bin outside you can drop them in, or you can call the school and they'll pick it up from you, okay? So either way, whatever is easier for you or convenient or whatever you feel safer doing, you can either drop them off at school or the school pick them up at your house, okay? Today's Thursday, April the 2nd. Hope you're staying safe, practicing social distancing, and doing everything you possibly can to get through this crisis. I know it's kind of frustrating to be cooped up in your house and staying away from your friends, but it's just necessary right now, so we're trying to prevent this from turning into a catastrophe, I guess. Anyhow, we left off yesterday on women's hair cutting, the long layer cuts. That's what we covered yesterday, so we'll just do a quick recap on that. Let's see. Let me get to the right page of my book here. Excuse me. Hi. It's okay. Be good, baby. Anyway, I was saying hi to my grandson there. We covered women's long layer cuts. For women, but sometimes men also get long layer cuts, so they have long hair. And this is just a recap. Consists of increasing long layers, shorten top, progressively longer to the perimeter. So remember that, like you see the layers up in here, they're shorter, and as you get to the perimeter of the back and the sides, the layers increase, the length increases. And you can see in the diagram when all the hair is lifted up to that 180 degrees, obviously the hair is going to be longer on the sides and back than the actual very top. There's going to be your shorter hairs here. But that's how you create layers, long layers. And you can even do an inverted layer cut, which, I'll get that to you in a video also. And these are the procedures. And then tips. Now we're going to go on to women's hair cutting for curly hair, okay? And in your textbook, it's going to be on page 543. So you should be reading today 543, 44, 545, all the way to 546, okay? And then tomorrow we'll cover other cutting techniques. But for today, you're going to focus on cutting curly hair textures, okay? And on our PowerPoint presentation, I'm going to go through that with you, cutting curly hair textures. All 4 cutting elevations can be used, which are the 4 elevations we went through. And just a a reminder. It's going to be your blunt cut, your graduated cut, your 90 degree cut, and your 180 degree cut, okay? The effects will differ from straighter hair types. Elasticity and curl formation increase graduation. So keep that in mind. You know, even on the straight hair, elasticity, it increases the graduation, okay? Depending on how elastic the hair is. Use less elevation for stronger angles. Observe crests and troughs of wave pattern. So that's basically when you're cutting hair, and when curly hair it's got a wave to it like that, you know. So the bottom part here, this is called the trough of the wave, and the crest is the top of the wave. Okay, bottom is the trough, top is the crest of the wave in curly hair. Cutting in the trough may increase hair ends to flip out, so it's always recommended to cut the hair at the crest of the wave. So you want to just, you know, there's a pros and cons and everything. Cutting hair after the crest may encourage hair to fall inward. So that's why I've always cut at the crest of the wave, not after the crest or in the trough, because I don't want the hair to I definitely don't want the hair to flip out if you cut in the trough, okay? And neither does the customer. They don't like that look. Clipper cutting naturally curly hair. Short, natural cuts. Choice of tools depends on texture and density of hair. Freehand clipper cutting on clean, dry hair. Fingers and shear on clean, damp hair. Tapered nape, tapered, rounded, or wedge sides. So you can see on the haircut on the demo, the demo there, or the photograph, you can see that it's free-handed, and they kind of just went over it. And, you know, as a barber, I can see that there's a little dip right here, and the sides aren't exactly the same either. So, I wouldn't recommend a haircut like that. You want to get it more balanced. See how this is more rounded here, more flared up. I like this look, and I like that look too, if both sides were like that. But definitely want to fix that there. Maybe I should have made this book, right? I'm really big on freehand clipper cutting when you're doing this type of curly hair, and even other types of hair. I'll freehand it, because once you get that down, you're pretty, I guess, it just makes you, I guess the right word would be efficient. And, when you freehand, you're able to get through the haircut a lot quicker and be more productive than if you were to try to use a pick or a comb and try to shape it with, clipper over comb. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll pick it out first, make sure all the hair is pretty even, and then I'll go ahead and freehand it. But remember that once you do that, and you can't, it's not recommended that you go through it with a comb again, because it's going to change the shape. So if you do go through a comb in one section, you got to go the whole haircut through the comb, okay? So that's why it's very important. And we'll get into that when we get into our classroom sessions. Procedure after preparing the clamp: pick hair out, set guide on top section, taper the nape area, cut back section to occipital. Remember, the occipital bone is back here. Blend sides to the crest in desired shape. Blend sides to back to crown, crest to top. And then you check cut, fine tune with shears and style. So again, you're going to cover most of that with I'm sorry, I heard a noise outside. Sound like gunshots. But anyhow, this is the procedure. And again, you want to follow that pattern. Of course, as you get your license and you become more, adverse in haircutting techniques, you're gonna basically come up with your own technique. But this is just a guideline to get you started when you're dealing with curly hair, and to be as efficient as possible as you're learning, okay? And then at the end, of course, you're gonna fine tune it with the shears. Haircutting tips for curly hair and curly hair clipper cuts. Follow reminders. Plus, closely observe the density and curl pattern. Cutting extremely curly hair too close may leave patches or scalp exposed. So, I mean, those of you that have done these clipper cuts with me at like St. Vincent de Paul, you're pretty well aware of these tips because we've actually witnessed them, right? Use the comb as a guard in hairline areas. Comb or pick hair after each cut with clipper. And then create proportion in crest and top areas. And that's just the formation of the haircut is what it's referring to, okay? Because when you are doing clipper cuts on curly hair, going back to this picture here, it's all about how you leave the form. It's not about how even the haircut is. It's about how well it's formed, okay? And that'll make more sense to you as you get more experience, okay? And that goes along with pretty much every haircut. It's not about how even the haircut is, but at the end, it's how it looks on the customer, how it's formed, the formation of the haircut, okay? So you can, when you get into these skin fades and stuff, yeah, it's about the blending and so forth, but when you're doing gentleman haircut, like a traditional haircut or, curly haircuts that aren't skinned, now you're going more into the form of the haircut, okay? And so yes, it's important to be even, but sometimes when hair is even on both sides, but the hair grows back on one side and forward on the other side, they look different, okay? So the side that's going forward is obviously gonna look more fuller than the side that's going back because he's combing his hair back. So then you're gonna have to compensate for that. And there's little tricks that you can do to do that. And we'll get into that. It's a little bit more advanced, but for now, we'll stay with this. Over direction. Okay, this is the next, I believe this is the next subject that we're gonna cover tomorrow. Yes, other techniques. So that's what will be coming tomorrow. But as far as for today, just keep these techniques in mind and these tips so that when you are cutting curly hair, it's gonna be a lot more easier and a lot less intimidating if you study these techniques and practice them, okay? Because a lot of people are they think cutting, like, for example, black hair, that it's more difficult, or they're intimidated by it because it is really a tight curl on there. But it's one of the easiest hair types to cut in the industry, to be honest with you. Very easy. Once you lose that intimidation factor and you own it, you learn the technique. It's like so simple to get it once you get it. So, and we'll cover that. I'm going to be uploading some videos on that also, on these hair cutting techniques as far as the curly hair. So make sure you look at them, make sure you view them, and make sure you're up to date as far as what page you're supposed to read up to 546 today. So please keep all that in mind, okay? Thank you very much. My time is about up now because it's going to be 50 minutes, so I got to go. Take care.